There's a brand new metaverse called HeavenLand that just launched on the Solana network. This isn't going to be some pixelated sandbox type of world. We're talking high resolution, stellar graphics. As you can see, this is the quality of the project that we're going to be looking at. Right now, they've just sold their first 5,000 parcels of land. There's still 25,000 parcels to be sold. But to get those, you're going to have to go in on an auction. They're only going to release 10 a week for the next 6 years. They just released their World Explorer map, which is super cool. So we're going to dive into that in just a second. And if you're excited to hear about HeavenLand and why I'm so excited about it, then click that like button and click the subscribe button so you can find out more about other videos we've got coming up. And click that bell notification. We'll notify you whenever we've got a new video coming up. That being said, this is not financial advice. I'm just here to educate you. Please do your own research before jumping into any project and don't spend more than you can afford to lose. NFTs are a huge gamble and you want to make sure that you're getting into good projects. So why am I so excited about HeavenLand and why have I put my money where HeavenLand is? I'm super excited about the plan that they have mapped out and how clearly they've thought out the process. And don't let the floor price fool you. The floor price is 5.7. They have done 25,000 SOL in sales over the last 7 days. And the average sale price is 8.42. So about a 3x on the average sale. Right now they've got a little over about 12% of the items for sale, and there's a lot of holders, which we'll see if we can look real quickly at the recently listed items. You'll see some of them are getting listed around 12, 16, but we've got people that are listing stuff at 250 SOL, 50 SOL, 29, 10, 25. So it's across the board. The floor for these smaller items is pretty thin. I want to jump into their World Explorer. This was just released yesterday and is super cool. We're zoomed in a little bit on what's for sale. This is the whole map for HeavenLand for the whole project. This is the whole 29,000 parcels of HeavenLand. And granted, this is in a tube, so we're looking at it flattened out. So it's going to be slightly different when we're looking at it in the actual metaverse itself once it's built out. If we dive in, this section right here in the center is the high-rise section. This is the most valuable property. Then we've got these 4 other sections that surround it that are the downtown area, and then flanked by the Block City area. And then outside of this main circle, we have the suburban, and I believe this is more of the Block City as well. In any of these, you can jump in and we can see the white sections are all parcels that have been sold. The blue ones are items that are for sale. The gray ones are items that have not been sold yet or have not been put up for sale at all. And these are the items that will be auctioned off at a later date. But we can see with this section being some of the most valuable property here, we can click on any of these. We can see the depth and height that you can build on the property. If it says drill through, that means you can drill through the core of the tube itself and you can build on the outside of the structure. It hasn't been determined what the height requirements are. I asked if it's the same as the max height build. They said it hasn't been determined yet. So drill through just means you can build on the outside. We don't know how far out you can build on the outside. And then it's going to tell you, whether it's listed, and if you're interested in buying it, you can click the Magic Eden logo right there, go right to the parcel and purchase that. And of course, you can always look down at the previous information. You can see they've actually listed a little higher, and then they've been lowering the price slightly. So it's always fun to look at whether you've got somebody that's just trying to flip or somebody that really thinks they can get that for the price of the land. simply click the escape button on here. We can go back to anywhere else in the section. We can go through to any of these other sections and take a look at what is for sale. See what the parcels, another one that's 150 sold to buy, whereas on the other side of the building you can buy it for 48, or this nice corner lot for 12. And the other fun thing is we can also look at properties that have not been sold yet and see what the height and depths of those are going to be available, so we can get an idea of the full lay of the land. I like this one picture that kind of shows the topography, so you can get a better idea of how the height is going to equate to views from the properties, because you can imagine the high-rise sections are going to be very high. They're going to have a great view, especially if they've got if they're on the outside near a river, etc. They're going to have spectacular views, and you might end up even having a big corporation like Nike or Adidas come in and want to rent space from you. Who knows? Sky's the limit on this stuff. So we can escape out of this, and we can jump into any other section where we have the block city sections. These are not as tall, where we can max height on this property we can build is 25, but we have a nice river view. Over here we even have a lake view. We can even look out to sections that haven't sold anything yet. These suburban areas have not even had any properties sold yet, but we can see that they do have plans in the future. It looks like the center is 20 meters. So you've got the whole land mapped out. You can kind of create a strategy for what you want to build. If you can get plots that are next to each other, then those are going to be more valuable. You'll actually be able to merge those plots and build a bigger structure on those. So if you can come in and get all 4 of these blocks in one section, you'll be able to build one structure. And I imagine there's going to be a lot of that going on, a lot of maneuvering to figure out how you can get the best space that's there. And be able to build on that whole square rectangle of plots. We can see here on announcement yesterday, 8:06 residents, do you want to gain access to the World Explorer? Check your parcels on sale next to yours to accumulate. And of course, everybody fired up, yes, we want to. And then I figured it would be days before we had that. And it was literally 4.5 hours later where we had the HeavenLand World Explorer that we could use, which makes it a lot easier to figure out what parcels you want to buy and what is all for sale, what's been sold, and what's coming up down the pipeline. They've also announced they've got their HTO token, which has been a part of the whole plan, but they just announced this morning that they're accepting private investments for HTO, and the minimum amount to invest is $50,000. Developers haven't doxed themselves, but they say they have to investors or are to investors, and in 2 weeks they're supposed to dox themselves. Why they've kept it secret, I have no idea. But we still don't know who Satoshi is, and investment in Bitcoin tended to work out pretty well. So you can check out links below to their other information, like their white paper, their economy, and it's really good to go through that and see what their whole plan is if you're interested in getting into the property. Myself, I minted 11 properties. I'd planned to mint 12, and it sold out after I hit the 11th one. And I have since flipped 10 of those to get better properties. I held them to one that was a really good one that I had minted, but I'm holding on to 9 properties right now. And looking to get a couple more. This is definitely a project I'm going to be putting more of my soul into as I get more funds to invest, because I think this could be a real winner in the long term with the plan that they've got laid out. Their HTO IDO is slated for early April, so we're just looking a couple months out on that. They're going to release their paper on HTO next week. They're keeping things moving, which I like in a project. It's not like you're getting in, you get your property, you sit and wait for a month for something to happen. There's announcements every day within the Discord, so I'd recommend getting in there if you're interested in checking out more of HeavenLand. And if nothing else, it's really fun to just go through the World Explorer, see all the properties, see what that is available, what's been sold, and looking through at Magic Eden on what the pricing structures are. If we go to their Magic Eden's homepage, let me shrink that up a little bit. And the most important things to look at, you've got 4 sections. You've got Block City, High Rise, and Downtown. Suburban area hasn't been released yet. So right now we're just looking at Downtown, High Rise, and Block City. And obviously we can see from this, Block City is the least expensive, Downtown is more expensive, and High Rise is the most expensive. Then you've got A and B for both, which mostly has to do with traffic, what they're expecting foot traffic to be, and height restrictions that you've got on the building. So A's, you can generally build higher, B's generally not as high. And then the other important things to look for are drill through, and those are the sections, like I said, where you can actually drill through the tube and build on the outside of the structure. And we can look at, recently listed, some of these are just out of control what people are listing them for, but even this, where we've got it at, this is a 20, we can only build 28 meters tall with this one. We're still looking at 9 sol to be able to build there, whereas something with 320 meters, we're looking at 50 sol for that. And we can look at the floor price on that, see where we're at there. And floor is around 8 for anything that's drill through. And you can also see, there's only 69 drill through properties available. The other important trait is high traffic. And we've got 94 of those for sale. The floor on high traffic area parcels is 11 for a 45 meter tall build. And if we go up from there to get to 85, we're looking at 15 sol to be able to build anything there. And of course, anything closer to one of these central spawning points is going to be more valuable. It's going to get more eyes. We're going to be able to sell advertising on the buildings within the land itself. And this is something that I see that we could totally have companies like Adidas and Nike coming into to be part of this metaverse as well. So if you're excited about HeavenLand, smash that like button, click the subscribe button. We'll let you know when we've got other videos out if you click that bell notification. And we'll hopefully see you in HeavenLand when it gets built. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.